Hey guys, it's Jumpy Cool, and welcome to day 3 of the Jumpy Cool Christmas Countdown 2024. Yesterday, was a little bit weird, because, we watched the first few episodes of Kirby Right Back At Ya on stream. However, it got blocked, so I had to upload another video, which was just a video that I recorded months ago, but never had a reason to upload. Anyways, today, is day 3, and today we're gonna be watching a Scott the Woz Christmas episode. And, I had a little bit of a hard time deciding which episode we're gonna watch today. It was gonna be either have a bootleg Christmas, the Gifts of Gaming, or You're Not an RPG Guy. And considering that Gifts of Gaming is like 40 minutes long, I decided not to watch that. And so, we're gonna be watching You're Not an RPG Guy, a Scott the Woz Christmas. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, what am I doing with my hands? Whoa!
What are you doing? The funeral home's that way.
We're not going to a funeral. I knew that was the only way to get you in the car.
What the hell? I bought new shorts for that.
You've been going down a bad path lately.
How lately?
About the past 23 years, give or take.
Oh.
I can't help what I did as a fetus. I'm sorry.
Alright, where are they going?
Take me from my apartment just to drive me back to my apartment. Breaking and entering isn't as fun if you know what's happening.
No, hi.
I'm not an alcoholic.
Otherwise, listen, you're
Immediately, I'm not an alcoholic.
We just want to fix you. I would have to be mentally broken or not already castrated for you to do that. I'm good.
Oh, all right. How about you just open your Christmas present from this year?
Okay.
Boy, I hope it's a snake.
I hope it's a snake. Xenoblade? I never played Xenoblade.
Somebody shut him up with some duct tape. On it.
Put it in his mouth.
What the hell? What could possibly be wrong with me?
You're not an RPG guy.
They said the title.
I thought that was my race.
Nope, my bad. Got him mixed up.
Alright. Scott Wozniak presents. You're Not an RPG Guy, a Scott the Woz Christmas. I'm excited to watch this, because for RPGs that I played Miitopia, Pokemon, and Earthbound. That's all I played. I never played Xenoblade, never played Final Fantasy, and well, that's kind of the only. I had played Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, but I don't think those count as RPGs. Oh wait, I guess they do technically count.
Hey, good news. We're not getting charged with kidnapping.
Okay, thank God.
We're on good terms.
Oh, tell them I said hi.
You know what, Rex? How about you go?
Scott's roommate
Okay.
9 months. I think that makes sense. You're not my roommate. I thought you knew.
I thought you knew.
I don't know what RPGs are. I think you're being a little bitch about them.
Yeah, what are RPGs again?
I don't know, a gun?
Do I at least have a chance to explain myself?
This is America, so no.
This isn't America. This is Ohio.
This isn't America, this is Ohio.
RPG fan. Contrary to popular belief,
I didn't always play video games, which is why there are no records of me prior
Oh,
to
come
03.
on.
This was the year I truly started playing video games, so pretty much the year I was truly born, which you know what that means. I'm a minor. I remember my first experiences with the medium being in the arcade. You know, you go to the laundromat as a kid and you're a big fan of the dryer, but then as soon as you lay eyes on the Galaga in the corner, well, the Pundry fandom lost a member. The classics, Pac-Man, Ms. Pac-Man, Galaga, these were my favorites, so you know I'm fun at parties. My first video game experiences, and to this day, they're some of my most beloved titles. Sort of lame to say. Saying you love arcade games.
So
and your
how is this
favorite
gonna
Pac-Man is like
transition
saying
to
Swords are my
RPGs?
favorite boxes. Like, yeah, it's true, but who cares? It's such a basic answer. Anybody who hears you like arcade games wants to hear something more elaborate or obscure, but I'm not gonna say I give a shit about clacks for respect. I love those old Namco classics. They were and still are some of my favorite experiences. They're so simple and are pretty much the same song and dance every time you play them, but their gameplay never gets old. Around this time was when I discovered the Nintendo
Yeah, the
Entertainment
NES.
System. It was hooked up at my grandma's house in the den area. I remember distinctly a goldfish cracker was lodged in the cartridge slot. Yeah, try it. This was my cousin's old system, and he left it there alongside a shoebox full of games. These are human teeth. Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. I easily played this one the most. Now, keep in mind,
The classic
I really
Mario Bros.
fucking
plus
hated
Duck
Using
Hunt.
the Zapper gun was so cool, and swapping over to Super Mario Brothers let me live out my fantasy of looking at sewage-colored man. Super Mario Brothers 3 was there too. God, what a game. Every time I play it, I discovered something new.
Super Mario Bros. 3 is a good game, but I prefer World over 3.
But I didn't want to be a mooch, I wanted to be this. So I eventually received my other cousin's hand-me-down Sega Genesis Model 2. It came with a cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I officially gave up on life. This opened a world of possibilities and closed another. I'm a video game owner now. Mom! Sonic
Yeah,
the Hedgehog
Mom.
was the first standalone video game I ever owned. I played it so much I couldn't get past the second zone.
That's me. Like,
Eventually for my birthday,
I
received
played
a
the,
Game Boy Advance, my first brand
I
new game
played
system.
the,
game I got with it.
mobile port of Sonic 1. I can never get past Marble
Licensed
Zone.
kids games were abundant, and I played them for all they were worth. However, I also had Mario Kart Super Circuit, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, and Super Mario Advance 2 Super Mario World. This was my game. I played this to death. Until I got stuck at this one part where I finished level.
Forest of Illusion can go die in a hole because of the secret exits you need to take.
Was my first true video game love. Throughout that year, I got really into shapes, so for my next birthday,
I got really
a
into
GameCube
shapes.
alongside the Game Boy Player attachment, letting me play all my Game Boy games on the TV. I mainly owned just licensed games for the console, but still adored it nonetheless.
God,
After that, my friend's
I
house
forgot
got
how
actual
much
video
licensed
like
games
Pac-Man
there
Paper.
are.
That Christmas, I received a blue Game Boy Advance SP and a colorblind diagnosis. A few years
Oh,
later,
I was gonna say that's red.
disc-only copy of Gran Turismo and the demo for Rascal. I didn't play this much. 2007, I got a Nintendo DS Lite, and by 2008, I got my Wii, and I played so much
the
Wii
Wii.
Sports and Wii Play,
My
Mario
first
Galaxy,
console.
Smash Brothers Brawl, GoldenEye 007, Mario Kart Wii, WarioWare Smooth Moves, alongside discovering my love for the history of gaming. I could download classic titles with this system, even the ones I played at my grandma's house. There was no need for her anymore. That was roughly my childhood gaming experience. After this, while I still received some game systems as gifts, I was a lot more conscious of the stuff I wanted. I wasn't as dependent on whatever my parents thought I might like. I knew I wanted a Wii U because it was better than wanting meth, but I didn't even scratch
The
the
Wii
surface
U
of the Nintendo
was
64.
part of my
I played
childhood
those
as
boxes,
well.
each and every game I owned,
And
looked
to
at
this
it,
day,
I
like,
played it, couldn't get past the
nowadays
first
I
level.
only
Dozens of
use it
hours of
for
progress adventures on Game Boy
Skylanders
Advance,
and
8
Minecraft
40-minute
Story
long
Mode.
game, but hopefully this gave you a good idea as to what I was raised on, what games and consoles made me who I am today. Notice how Lufia 2 wasn't mentioned?
As your therapist, I think you should be open to more things, like RPGs and murder.
I've tried RPGs!
And I've tried murder. It doesn't count till you like it.
So what are RPGs again?
Isn't it a
Yeah,
political
we
party
haven't
game?
really explained what RPGs are.
RPG guy. You don't even know what RPGs are!
Yeah, I do.
Political Party in Guinea. We've been over this. I always thought it was like a BLT, but for ranch peas and grapes. Why did you all give me Xenoblade?
Oh, that's an RPG? I didn't even know Xenoblade was pronounced like that.
I thought we got you an enema.
Yeah, I was wondering why I didn't shove this up your ass.
I was wondering why I didn't shove this up your butt.
It's really obvious I enjoy more arcadey games. Now, what does that mean? Outside of me being wrong, well, it doesn't mean it has to be from the arcade. More so, it retains elements of arcade gameplay. Look at Pac-Man, for example. I can all day. Quick reflexes, simple controls, easy to grasp concept. Anybody can pick it up and play, but very few can master it. Have you seen professional Pac-Man players?
No.
No, they live in the Vatican. The concepts at play here really matter to me. If a game is like this at all, I'm gonna sleep well that night. This is probably why platforming is my favorite genre of gaming. You run and jump. It can't get much simpler than that. Know
Yeah.
anybody who has an argument against that? My mom never got Tetris. Pong? My grandma said, what the is that? But with platformers, I mean, they would 100% not be able to play them well, but they at least understand what you're supposed to do and the objective. It's just like life. Get to the end. Jumping. There are an endless amount of things you can do with that. You can be a plumber, an evil plumber, a plumber's girlfriend. I value simplicity at
A
face
lot of
value,
plumbers.
where, like, oh, this is super easy to get, but when you dig deeper, you find all these elements that add up to the game being as good as it is. So just because my favorite genre is platformers doesn't mean I'll get sweaty for Leps World 2. No, you take games like Super Mario Galaxy, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Sonic Mania, Mega Man X, Celeste, you start playing them and immediately you're like, I get it.
Somehow I
understand
played
how to
all
play,
those
what to
games
do,
he
and
just
why
mentioned
people give it.
except Mega
And you
Man
start to
X.
notice amazing design details that went into all
God, I need to
aspects of
play
the
Mega
game.
Man
You
X.
realize
I've heard
that,
so much
wow,
good things
this
about
game is
it.
a masterclass of design. This affects that, and that can't be there without this. That's what turns an already great game into a masterpiece. I love the pick up and play nature of platformers, how you get instant gratification when you jump. You're like, wow, I did that. When you defeat an enemy, when you just barely cross a gap, there's a rhythm to it all. It may be one of the most generic video game genres, like it's what I immediately think of when video game gets brought up, but I think it's for good reason. That doesn't mean I'm opposed to other genres. I love puzzle games for a lot of the same reasons. Rhythm games can be incredibly
Oh,
satisfying.
rhythm games. I suck at rhythm
To
games.
get completely submerged in. Shooters I'm awful
I
at, but they
seriously
can be a
suck at
blast.
rhythm games. Get to the freaking Xeno crap.
Games where the player controls the actions of a character and / or several party members immersed in some well-defined world.
No. Oh, so that's what RPGs are.
Technically speaking, this genre definition can be linked to pretty much most games regardless of genre. Take any game. You are controlling the actions of a character and are immersed in a well-defined world. The definition of an RPG
I mean, technically.
can be a bit hazy. I've seen people call the fucking economy an RPG. Well, you can't fool me. RPG is just like a cloud. I know one when I see it. Oh, there's no debate. Let us go into some of the characteristics of traditional RPGs. Number 1, elf shit. Fantasy is generally the go-to genre of the genre. It kind of stems from the origins of video game RPGs, which were tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons. I'll stick to Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
RPG can be set in any kind of world, but just like how puzzle games love the colored shape trope, fantasy is the go-to here. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of my best friends are a fantasy.
So what's the big deal? I love fantasy, put down 3 letters, I'm sold.
Yeah, seems to me. You don't have much of an argument here. Like Stalin.
Stalin.
So Stalin?
I hate RPGs, but love Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
I'm into it.
we're on the same
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Sky is not really a fan of RPGs. Wait, is this a song? Oh, okay, I was not expecting a song.
Thank God. Are my tastes just bad? Am I the one to blame? Or is it RPGs that are dumb and lame?
I mean, kinda.
Why don't you play them? They just take so damn long to complete.
Yes, Metopia's my favorite game of all time, but it takes so dang long to beat. Oh, God. I was gonna say, oh, God, the amount of text that you have to read. Oh, yes. Yes, I have had that problem before.
I'm scared. I'm not having fun. There's no other way this can be spun. What do I do? What do I check? It's an RPG. What did I expect?
God, I was not expecting a song here, but it's actually really good.
Listen, guys, you can't have opinions. Number 2, wait your turn. Think of is the turn-based RPG. I don't want want to wait to be disappointed. This isn't a pregnancy. So let's look at how a turn-based RPG works. You're exploring this vast
Scott.
world and experiencing a story as it unfolds. That's the point of most RPGs, to create a universe that you want to get lost in. Tell a story unlike any other with some of the most memorable characters out there. This is why video games are such a popular medium to tell stories through. You are a character. This story is happening to you. Your friends in the game start to feel real if it's done right. Most role-playing games heavily depend on an engaging story, and of course, stories need conflict.
Except that Pokemon, it's like my Pokemon when there's no story.
Homicide. Here's a list of things I can do. I can attack. I usually perform some special ability like existence. Well, that didn't do a damn
Well,
thing.
that's it.
Just give up. Run. Bitch out. They don't care. So I select what I want to do. I watch the character do what I told them to do. Then it's the enemy's turn, because it's only fair. They attack. Thanks. And now we're back to me. I'll probably attack again. Actually, it might be a good time to heal myself with some medicine. Good, I brought Dayquil. Alright, and it's their turn again. They attack. And now we're back to me again. Alright.
Oh my god, yeah. You can see how boring it is.
It's a time-tested gameplay style. If it was completely outdated and uninteresting, it would have been ripped out of games eons ago. There's a reason text-based adventure games died out and their technology is being reused on Tinder. We still get turn-based battles in games constantly. They obviously work. There is depth here, and most video game players like them. The biggest media franchise on the planet is Pokemon, and it's a turn-based RPG. It works. But want to see why Scott's a fucking idiot?
I can see it!
I can see it.
Playing a role. If I'm supposed to be immersed as this character, why are battles set up like this? This is potentially the worst way to immerse me in an experience. When would my mortal enemy bat number 4 wait for me to pick an attack and then let her rip? Why would I give them a chance to hurt me? That's
Oh
just
yeah, I completely forgot about Ring Fit Adventure. I
It
played
doesn't
that
make me
game
feel
like years
I'm
ago,
the
but I
one
never
performing
actually
it.
beat
Feels
it.
like I'm commanding that
There's
character.
so many games I never
This
actually
combat almost
beaten.
feels at odds with
Like
the rest of what these
Overcooked,
games are
I've
trying
never
to do.
actually
It's trying to
beaten
make me
it.
feel as if I am the character, going
Sonic
to the extent
Rush,
of having
my
me
first ever
aim at
Sonic game,
myself.
I've never
Why
actually
are the
beaten
battles
it.
like puppet shows? Well, I guess you could view RPGs as a performance. The origins of tabletop RPGs, you announce everything you're doing as if it's a book being written right there on the spot. So there's some showmanship to it all. It's a role-playing game. So it's like these are actors taking on the roles of these characters. So again, why can I name this guy myself if I'm playing the role of him?
Oh,
The
yeah.
actor doesn't pick the character's name. I just don't feel like I'm doing anything in these battles. Clicking through a menu doesn't feel like I'm accomplishing anything, and landing a great attack, I just don't feel incredibly accomplished. I selected a menu option.
Yeah.
I'll play Pac-Land for that, thank you. Taking turns just slowed things down so much. Like, what is he waiting for? Just shoot me! I mean, it does offer strategy. You have to sit and think sometimes. Like,
I mean, technically, that would be like a valid strategy to just get through all these battles. Just shoot the enemies.
I just fucking hate this one. Out of all the games to have a ton of enemy encounters, why do RPGs have them the most? They go on forever, and there's a million of them. You have to go through
That's
all
just
against
right.
the same
Does
enemies
Paper
over and
Mario
over
the
again.
Origami
Think of
King
everything
count
you
as an
can do in all
RPG?
that time.
Nope, I got nothing.
And then there's the fact that many of these games have random encounters.
Yep.
Here we are, number 3. Oops. I
Oops.
try to make my way from point A to point B, but I'll randomly be forced to partake in a battle. I don't even see the enemies when I run into them. Like, what's the context of this happening? Oh, wow, here I am.
Hey.
Sure, you're on your toes, but it's like, how often do I have to be on my toes? Man, this is painful. It's
God.
like, yeah, it's a surprise. You always have to be ready for a battle, but on your way to a location, you can expect at least 2 or 3 random
That's why I
battles.
hate like
So that
backtracking in
is not a surprise.
Pokemon.
I'm
Like
expecting it. Did they
without
stop to happen?
repels,
Did they
you
make
have
it
so many
happen?
random encounters.
Lots of non-RPGs have random enemy placements that don't need to be there. Like, I could give a shit about your Goomba placement, but these random encounters happen out of nowhere.
Yep.
You don't even see where the enemies are. You just randomly get thrown into a battle. You can easily avoid this, and when you're in the battle itself, it takes just as long as any standard battle in the game. Battles that are required for progression.
Well, it's more fun to get shot by surprise than to know ahead of time.
Well, I guess random encounters are here because another big element of RPGs are experience points, leveling your character up from
Yep.
she's weak to being stronger than any being. I can do anything now. I can stomach playing Final Fantasy. Number 4, feeling like you did something today. Having a visual indication of just how much stronger you get after each and every battle is unbelievably satisfying. I think experience points, or EXP, make RPGs for people. You know just how long it takes to go through a whole battle with an ant. And that ant can kick your ass, like it puts up a fight. But then a few hours in, you level up and you're more powerful. You can one-shot kill those ants. Character development. I'm
Yeah.
no better than ants. But you know what?
Yeah,
you
you're
have to
better
do
than
in so many of
ants.
these games, you have to grind for your experience points. You have to wander
Yeah.
around, get into
Yeah,
random
that's why I
encounters, just
hate
in a base battle to
grinding.
level up before you progress. Of course, most of the time you don't have to, but it's necessary if you don't want to stain the carpet with your decapitated head. Grinding almost
What?
feels like I'm exploiting the game sometimes. Like, is this really how the game was designed? For me to walk around in circles for 2 hours doing nothing but getting into random battles fighting weak enemies to gain extra experience? I just killed snails for 20 minutes. I'm ready to take on Satan.
I think we have some more to say. Target employee. He works at Target?
Oh yeah, big time.
Did you not see the shirt?
Yeah, I saw it stock the shelves for today.
Yeah, Scott, you mostly knew my brother. He worked at Wendy's. He was a really good guy. Mostly dead nowadays.
Is Jerry playing with a lighter?
His dying wish was to see you play Nier Replicant version 1.224744. I think he was having a seizure.
What?
See, we care about you, man. My foot's turning purple. See, you lock yourself out of so many experiences saying you're not an RPG guy. That's the oldest excuse in the book.
Gets me out of jury duty.
What else am I supposed to say?
Why, yes, please. I'll take one Suikoden 4.
My parents met over that one.
What about the stories of these games? That's why you play them. So here we have number 5. Incredible, engaging, long-winded, weird-as-hell plots. Video games can house some of the greatest tales ever told, and it seemed like RPGs were the only way to tell those kind of stories years ago. And I think there's a clear reason to make a story into a video game compared to just a movie or a book. It's the experience. There are tons of video game stories that are great. They would blow as a film. The stories of many iconic RPGs play out almost like they're a 4,000-page novel with stupid haircuts. Oh, and you have to do the same thing 400 times. A lot of these stories are great with huge moments of emotion. Character deaths mean more because when you're doing turn-based battles, you often have multiple party members. If one of them died, it stings that much more. It can be so much more effective than other mediums to tell the story. But then you have the other side of RPGs where I can't take this seriously. I am a prince talking to a mechanic. Okay.
Okay.
Thought I'd, adjust my speech here. Scott, the lack of RPGs you play is horrifying, and I've seen bees. He means it. To show how much we care, I have a surprise witness.
At an intervention?
I present to you K-Swiss of Bankruptcy Patrol.
Oh my god, you got a white guy?
About RPGs. Sure, he's buying them, but he's spending all his time playing and buying other games. If he sat down and played an RPG, he wouldn't have time to waste money on other games.
Well, at least I'm stimulating the economy.
If anything, you're doing immense damage to the economy. You're buying plenty of RPGs, but you have no actual interest in them. Companies think you want RPGs, so they make more, but when more RPGs are announced, you get annoyed and tell people not to play them. Without this issue, people who actually want to play RPGs buy them. Thus, supply and demand return to a renaissance, if you will. We call this issue the Scottless economy. Playing RPGs, we call it an economy. You son of a bitch, I love the economy!
One of the big ones. Number 6. These games never fucking end. Why do these take so long? Role-playing games are generally on the longer
The economy.
side. At least they can usually run you 20 hours from start to finish. As somebody who really just wants to experience
Yeah,
as many
Miitopia
video
is
games
like
as possible, why would I want to
11 hours long, and that's just the story. There's still the post game going for 100%.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was only 30 hours. My weekend's 48 hours. What am I gonna
Like,
do with that
I
extra
spent like 32 hours on Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door HD, and I still haven't beaten it.
Hours out of a game kind of guy. But I totally understand if people are like that. It's just, I don't care. If a game's 10 hours, that sounds like a pretty sweet length to me. But RPGs are so long because they have so many battles, and so many of those battles are the same things over and over again. It's just the amount of time I spend in these games, I don't feel it's justified. And then we have number 7. Sensory overload. What the fuck am I looking at? Is this really this complicated? They could have made this menu look. I want to get the Black Desert menu on my back. These games have such thick-ass menu systems with some
Yeah,
menus and some menus and
yeah,
tutorials and
menus that
the
just
menus and
take up, like, the whole
that's
screen.
interfaces that overcomplicate what could be a simple and intuitive experience.
I think I have something to say here.
Yeah, I do too. That's it.
Really blocking yourself from experiences that will truly better your life and outlook on art as a whole. I wrote this when I thought we were still talking about guns.
Okay, what do you think about role-playing games?
Oh, just don't be a bitch.
Oh, who's that?
It is your place.
They untied him just for this.
Yeah, I got an RPG delivery.
Jeff, why didn't you come earlier?
I work today. I love the economy.
Yeah! Yeah, the economy!
I deliver RPGs to at-risk youth. So they're going to be RPG guys. Here.
What's that? Man 08?
This is Madden.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, Madden isn't a RPG game, right? Right, it's a football game, right?
I don't want to rent the second room here.
too. RPGs.
Barrel
can be
Blast,
anything. I
Wario
was talking to
World.
someone and they fucking catfished me. I've been only talking about turn-based RPGs, but what about action RPGs, strategy RPGs, MMO RPGs, JRPGs, which is just if a role-playing game is made in Japan. That's it.
So Final
Action RPGs are
Fantasy.
like, take out the turns and just make them just normal fights. Oh, hit this button to attack. Oh, thank God. I gotta say though, a lot of action RPGs just feel like hack and slashes or shooters with numbers. MMORPGs.
With
Let's
numbers.
take this and pair it up with Omegle. Look at these players online. These are my type of people. We all know how to use menus.
So online
Strategy
games?
RPGs. I got nothing. These are all such different types of games, and so many
I
games.
will never
outside of
play a
RPGs
Fire
have
Emblem
RPG
game
elements. You can
because-
make an argument that any one of these
because
games
no.
are RPGs. Adam, look at all these stats. How is this not an RPG? People constantly make the argument Zelda's an RPG.
No.
Sure, keep telling yourself that. It has RPG elements, pretty much any of the sins I mentioned, and then some. I give up. I lost.
I guess I have to become an RPG guy because if I don't,
No. He's never even played Pokemon before.
leap year this year.
It's December.
It is December.
This?
They're ribs. I thought we were getting a corn dog. These are nature's corn dogs.
I can't eat ribs. I'm not
Nature's
hungry.
corn
I'm
dogs.
vegan.
Oh, come on. Somebody has to. I ordered the economy size.
Oh yeah, yeah, the economy.
Start with a few that started it all. Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Dragon
Yep.
Quest or Dragon Warrior originally over here in America. Playing this now, it is so simple and basic, but there's a charm to it, and many of the systems we see in RPGs today, they're here in full force. It's
So is he
weird to
gonna
say a
talk
game
about
like this is aged well.
Metopia? Because if he talks about
When you put it
Metopia, I'm
side
gonna
by side
pop
to modern
off.
RPGs, you start to notice more similarities than differences. Dragon Quest has always been an RPG staple, primarily in Japan. Over here, it's not as celebrated. Come on, this is America. I like Mickey Mouse and fucking my wife. Dragon Quest has been there. I'm surprised how many people I've run into who immediately recognizes the slime enemy from the series. The spin-offs are all over the place, like Dragon Quest Swords on Wii, which is pretty much a Dragon Quest game played in first person with a ton of automated movement and motion control combat. You just swipe away at the enemies, and overall it feels like a Dragon
Haven?
Quest game for a
I never
fucking
heard of
idiot.
that game before.
I love it. But of course, we have Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
What?
Number 8, ass-long titles. Oh my god. This game is so lovely. Like, it's just so happy. Even when dark moments happen, this is just such a jolly world. These characters' designs are so fun. I'm not a fan of more typical anime-esque designs, but with Dragon Quest, I like the style. It just feels so nice. The characters, the monsters, even the gameplay. I'm sure the battles are more tedious than if it wasn't a traditional RPG, but it's not that annoying. I like this game.
What?
I just don't want to spend 100 hours liking it.
Oh.
Then we have Final Fantasy. Easily the
Okay,
most
here we go.
iconic
Final
RPG
Fantasy.
series. Well, Dragon Quest was far more traditional in terms of fantasy world with dragons. Beat the evil. Final Fantasy continues to go all over the place. Again, this is a prince. Each Final Fantasy is pretty much completely separate from the last. Which
Yeah,
is how we get some
I've
game
never
titles.
played
The
Final Fantasy
game I played
7,
is
even
Final
though I
Fantasy
heard
VII
it's one of the
Remake.
best
I
games
like
of all
it, but like
time.
I said, action RPGs just don't feel like RPGs to me. They feel like hack and slash games with stats. The series hasn't always been turn-based.
Yep, there's Final Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy 11 and 14
I think.
are MMORPGs.
They all look the same to me.
The mainline number titles in the Final Fantasy series are MMOs. Like, why not make them their own designated spin-off series like Final Fantasy Online? But alright. 15 and 7 Remake are action RPGs. No turns here. This was done to give Final Fantasy more broad appeal and make it so a FIFA fan could play it. So I gotta be honest, I have a lot more fun with this gameplay style. But I almost feel patronized playing it, like I'm too dumb to enjoy the older games, so here's some flashier bullshit.
Yeah, is this stale pretzels? I'd like to place an order. Yeah, the stale pretzels.
Get some ribs.
No, it's stale pretzels. All they have are stale pretzels.
No, if you ask, they'll make it for you.
Yeah, I'll do a side of pretzels.
It's kind of a weird way to say ribs.
My God, is this how he sounded to him?
Depends on how he pronounces ribs.
Of course, if you're more of a classic
Ribs.
RPG guy, there are still tons of games releasing that are supposed to be direct callbacks to those older games. Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler. If you're not a fan of modern Final Fantasy, these games bring us back to a simpler, far slower time. Yeah, I'm not as into this. When you program a fast forward button into the base game, I feel like you could have just designed the gameplay to be more efficient. But God, Octopath.
Oh yeah, Metopia has like a fast forward button.
Quite like this, and the music. Kingdom Hearts answers the age-old.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts. I've never played Kingdom Hearts before.
Actually, I don't know if it does or not. And all these games come courtesy of Square Enix, your one-stop shop for RPGs. They've also released other iconic titles like Chrono Trigger and the Mana series, which is interesting considering it was one of the few classic RPGs that went for an action approach comparative to turn-based. While I highly disagree on The Legend of Zelda being an RPG, at least one entry in the series is definitely one. Zelda 2, The
Oh,
Adventure
it's
of
Zelda
Link.
2. I've
Enemies
tried to
level
play
yourself up
Zelda
in
2 in
various
the past, but
departments.
I never got past like the
Zelda 2
beginning
gets a lot of
because it
flack, but it's honestly
sucks.
pretty enjoyable. And Nintendo's RPG series.
Earthbound, yes, I played Earthbound.
Which this definitely helped many get into RPGs. Most games of this nature were fantasy, which has its fans, but Earthbound you were playing as a kid in a town. It made it stand out, and I think it helped many find more of an attachment with the genre. Now, Pokemon on the
Yep,
other hand,
there's Pokemon.
right off. I've tried so many times, but I just can't get into Pokemon. I feel like I've 100% missed the boat on playing the franchise. If I played it as a kid, I feel like I'd find it easier to enjoy now. If I start the game, I just feel like it's a slog. I don't feel this sense of wonder. I just feel like I'm walking from point A to point B, mashing the A button to get through text boxes, fighting other Pokemon by, again, mashing the A button. At least turn-based works really well here in terms of immersion. You're not the Pokemon. You're commanding them what to do, which I think works much better contextually than most other RPGs. I want to like these games, though. I just can't get into them. Same with the Xenoblade series. I'm
It's
so
just
happy
my
that this
problem with
franchise
Pokemon
went
is
for
the
it.
long
Here's a
tutorials.
Smash Brothers character, multiple remasters and remakes, a sequel, another sequel, an expansion to the sequel. It's really cool to see that, and I think the original Xenoblade is unbelievably
Yeah,
impressive.
Pokemon has like
this world is in a
hour-long
movie. This is
tutorials.
not
That's why it's
really
hard for me to
But then you have
replay
Golden Sun.
them.
It definitely gives me Dragon Quest feelings of happiness. I do like a lot about this. But then you have the beginner RPGs from
Paper
Nintendo
Mario.
based on the Mario franchise. Super Mario RPG, Mario and Luigi.
Oh, Mario and
Paper
Luigi, I
Mario.
played
These
Bowser's
games
Inside
actually make
Story.
turn-based combat
I'm
fun.
planning
They
on
have action
doing
commands,
streams
which
where
means,
I
like,
just
pick an
like
attack,
play
time
all
your
the
action,
Mario
just
and
right where you
Luigi
hit the button at this
games.
exact moment. It's almost like a rhythm game. It keeps me involved and entertained. Sure, some of the games are dog but I think these games
Color
help
Splash.
tremendously in conveying
I've
the
heard
appeal of
people
RPGs to
crap
those who
on
play
Super
them.
Paper
No
Mario,
matter how much
Sticker
you
Star,
enjoy
and Color
role-playing games,
Splash.
you have to admit, they aren't the easiest to jump into most of the time. You gotta wean yourself on a Mario RPG before you jump into Persona 5. Holy
Yep, Persona
this game
5.
is so stylish and cool. Listen to the music. The setting is so neat.
I've never
Pick up
played a
the
Persona game
RPG
before.
guy. And I fucking hate myself. What have I become? How you can use one of these? Ah!
Oh. Is that God?
Hello, my name is God.
I knew it!
I mean, Jesus and a Target employee in the same week? You know, we should do something nice for him. Like to place a fling smash order?
Flank Smash.
What?
Ribs!
Smash this time.
Ribs!
Christ, it's been a busy day for us. 2 deliveries? This economy's about to be the fucking best.
So I thought you just delivered RPGs.
Well, RPG can mean a lot of different things. For example, like when you're really playing Gex.
Gex.
Kid, you want a Gex? No.
Gex.
I have to pay for it.
God, I want to the economy.
What is Jeb's like obsession with Gex?
I don't want to anything. What did I do wrong?
First off, that time you drank that water and made a face, you. I make water. Second off, you're trying to be an RPG guy.
I thought that's what everybody wanted.
See, I crafted humanity to have the instinctive trait to not like RPGs.
So that's why cavemen never played them.
Then all of a sudden, evolution was like, you. Here's Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber, the famous game that everybody loves. And ever since, we've had a bunch of mutants walking around playing RPGs.
So it's
What?
not like RPGs.
It's normal to not like all kinds of things, whether it's RPGs or murder.
I never would have known.
Scott, Bubby, you know who you are and what you like and don't like. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not an RPG guy. You know this deep down, but that doesn't mean you should immediately denounce every RPG that you come across. Even though RPGs were never meant to be enjoyed, people like them for some reason. You should respect and understand that as much as they should respect and understand you. But even if you generally...
Sorry, God, I'm not paying attention to anything you're saying.
Open your eyes to great experiences you would have never had otherwise.
Can I add you on LinkedIn?
I think I get it. I'm not an RPG guy. And sharks are just sexy fish at the end of the day. RPGs are my go-to genre, and that's okay. Just like how everybody doesn't like platformers or sports games or first-person shooters or party games. My criticisms of RPGs were just opinions. They're the same reasons why people love RPGs, and that's okay.
I mean, technically, party games could be RPGs.
I really like Dragon Quest, some Final Fantasy games I like, and I'm just really happy that Xenoblade's doing well, and Persona 5 is really cool. No, I'm going too far.
No.
This.
He has a problem.
This.
He has a problem.
This. Hey y'all, Scott here.
He said the thing!
RPG guy, and I'm proud of who I am.
I was wondering when he was gonna say that.
Anything otherwise. Damn it!
You're not an RPG guy! That was a really good Christmas episode. It wasn't exactly Christmas related, but it was still fun. Like, I learned a lot about RPGs. I learned a lot about RPGs today. And, well, there's still a lot of RPGs I need to play, like Persona, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Xenoblade, and we don't talk about Fire Emblem because it sucks. Got to watch Season 4. Oh, so this was Season 4. So wait, so was this like a finale to Season 4? I think. Yeah, how many seasons of Scott has there been? Like, I kind of want to do, like, a streams or videos where I just, like, watch all the Scott the Woz episodes. Hey, is that it? Or is there something at the end? I think that's it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed me watching You're Not an RPG Guy. the video replayed. I hope you enjoyed me watching You're Not an RPG Guy, He's Got the Woz Christmas. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow when I'm uploading a cover of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Bye-bye!